your brother would cook, or today you'll be the one cooking and another person will wash clothes, and then that's how you learn. You're picking all of these things at home, and gradually you grow up. Men find, like I always say, man, your responsibility is to take care of. You first the living room. You've cleaned the living room first. Keep the house clean because you've already done that. Keep the children be possibly early. Your husband doesn't usually come back for lunch because office is far from the house. Let's say lunch is not there, but then dinner has to be ready on time also. If you have children that
Aisha is the typical younger Nigerian wife. She has all these rules, culture coming from.
Yes.
But then we'll have a man in our guest, right? Yes. So it will be ideal, because most of these rules are meant to please them, right? Because you're saying, oh, be a homemaker, to assist the man. In between sentence,
he wanted to, explain a little bit more.
Sentence.
He wanted to, explain a little bit more. Like cooking. You don't like cooking. So, Oga Solomon, let's come to you. What do you think, or how do you think a woman should be at home?
Thank you. As you have said, a woman as a homemaker, to me, my personal opinion is, a woman should be able to utilize the resources that she has available to her to give utmost care to her immediate family, her husband, her children, and get all of them satisfied, get them well taken care of. Mean that in a particular month, as little as just one month, and when her kids go out, for those who have kids, when they go out, nobody's going to be pointing fingers to ask, like, do these children come from a home? So that is my feel. But please, before you go ahead, there was something you said in your introduction, which I would like to just chip in one or two things.
Okay.
And being a woman or being a female, let me use growing up, I practically did everything a woman will do. And I remember in my early teens, there was a friend of my mom who was in the house while I was in the kitchen doing the female chores in the kitchen. And she conducts doing the kitchen. Why don't you call, because as at that time, I think I was in SS2. And then my immediate younger sister was in SS1. So my mom insisted and said, whatever preparation in her family, he will not be taken for granted by any woman. So what that translates to is, as a man, as a male child, if I'm able to take care of the house, come out of my room, be able to lay my bed, put things in order, put my books, my shoes, my clothes in. Now, I get married, I'm watching the news, and then allow the woman in the house to come to me and say, please, raise your legs, I would like to mop under it. No. She might be in the kitchen, your gender, for whatever reason.
Let's stay in the kitchen. And some wife is sitting. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's something that is that deep. Because she can wake up not feeling too okay, that she's pregnant, either she has kids to take care of, they're going to the kitchen, make breakfast, and they help her pack, It
is actually not like that. I would like to say, for those who, for the males who still live in that mind, with that mindset,
yes.
I don't know how I'm going to rate them, but typically, look at it on this side.
Before you know, someone will not start ordering. So
children say, my father cooks better than my mom, several times.
Wow.
And when you look at it, times have evolved. Now you see that kind of support she deserves. Leave the kitchen untidy. I personally don't like. I finish my meal, I'm going straight to the kitchen. I have to do it myself. So things like this.
If you came up from a home that everybody do whatever you like, nobody gave you this strict guidance. I don't care if you're a man or woman, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. If we are not coming out from that home, I don't think you have this ideology that you're building.
Exactly. So it's
the first lessons, children, you've noticed that this is a routine. Once you start coming up of age, it will get to a day she will tell you room. Then when she comes in and just cleaning your room to clothes,
clean the courtyard, cut the grass.
We have known this thing is to actually groom the people coming behind us. so that we don't necessarily need to now come to the place where we start telling them, you do this, you do the dishes. Shagun did it yesterday. Oh, I want to do today. Then tomorrow Ujo can do his own. Things like that. It engineers, it makes these kids develop better.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry to call you maids literally doing everything. Don't need to take your bath. You have your meal already. See how this actually.
To be very honest, we had two at some point.
Okay.
In my first 4, 5, 6, 7 years, I was literally doing nothing. And being the first and only male child at that time, I had 3 sisters. I was the only male child, so I received extra. We're not even talking about washing undies or washing school socks. So that was where I started from. And you know, we all think she just dishes out instructions and goes to sit down. Then when she comes back, I'm going to report.
Wash it yourself.
So I had that mindset report rather than say, okay, he's still in it.
and I think
a space, give me my food when food is ready.
Play with their friends.
Come in and come and drop my plate when I'm done, and they are good. And then when you have those other kids that you don't even need to call them,
they'll be there.
Once you're in the kitchen, you have.
You won't blame the parent, okay? It's laid down natural rule. You will find one who may need to take a whip to start whipping to say, go do that.
Honestly, I think among my siblings, he came back to the whole thing he said just felt like he's talking to me.
Right.
Because before now, leave me with cleaning the restroom and laying the bed. I like neat places.
Yeah.
So in the house where, if I lay the bed, I don't even... Every soup that they pour you on, but do not make it a habit.
But then again, there are also men that don't want their women to cook.
Well, but that's a different case.
If there are kids who are laid back.
Morning, beat me for get our house girl. Don't stress yourself.
Daddies are the best.
Yes.
As an individual, be you male or female. Okay, well, let me just talk about the male.
Yes.
At some point, you will get to that point where you realize that, look, all this work, let's turn on the generator, shut down his laptop so that I can turn it off. So you can imagine.
Yes,
so, but now again, he gets up. And then he will now start calling So you get to that point where you realize within yourself that there are certain activities you need to do for yourself.
Right.
It is just fortunate or, well, incidentally, because to say when they find themselves in the kind of environment they may have shaky starts. And that is why it then becomes very important to have a partner who really understands where you're coming from.
Right.
Your friend, there is a woman in that house. Yes, she's a banker. The husband is a banker. They work in 2 banks because, we know the law will not allow
to work at the same bank.
In the same organization. Now, how will that woman feel eating food prepared by you can't deliver out? But the bottom line is, as you now presented, woman prepared that my woman said
you quickly
ordering and then eventually going to meet the person's parents, and now the person's parents is like, oh yeah, help us cook this person does not even know what has been going on, because he's been coming to that in the kitchen and you're calling for help. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, that's when you go food.
You may even follow book to book of what the person is saying. You put this in 15 minutes.
It's 2 years and citizens. will get an enemy.
But when the water becomes colored, it's definitely an enemy because you cannot use it to bathe and you cannot even drink it.
That's so.
That point was
that's because you're not in the rural area.
When you listen at some of these adage proverbs, you have to go and think two times because sometimes they have opposite meaning. But we're not ready for that conversation.
So today we've been talking about women, as homemakers.
Yeah.
The things that men and women are expected to do, like Oga Solomon, engineer. Oga Solomon has said.
Emphasis on engineer.
Yes, emphasis on the engineer. So Esther, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What do you think once, let's say, it is your responsibility as there is no tomatoes, there's no salt, there's no pepper. You're supposed to, as a woman, manage these resources at your hand to buy things that you're coming to tell your husband there's no salt. Not manage resources. No matter how much they give them, they do not know how to manage resources. What is your advice? What is your call to those kind of women? Because men, to bring money home, and it's your responsibility as the wife to buy everything that you feel is missing in the house. So after you're telling me my gifts,
now partner as is this a person that even goes into marriage and then you see these things, well, like let me just maybe spark, that's enough.
But if he wants to go anyway, let me take the question back to engineer Oga Solomon. What do you think? Because it's not all men that like to go to the market. I mean, some of them would feel like, I've gone out there to hustle for this money. It is your apartment. It is your responsibility. Do you get your responsibility to buy foodstuffs? You went ahead to, there's the same. The wife now goes to the market to now buy 2 cartons of Indomie and come and keep 2 cartons of noodles. They are now coming to tell me 2 days later that soap that you use in washing children's clothes has finished. I mean, when you were buying those things, you didn't put those things, important things into... Okay, so let me just allow you to talk. Because Esther feels like...
Anyway, it's a woman topic, so I understand. To the question that you asked, I don't mean to budget me, helps them. She said, this is why it is important for partners to know each other, know their strengths, know their weaknesses, before they then consummate a marriage. Now, while we were dating for you, now, if at the same time, there are certain men, like my father, for example, he doesn't really like buying certain food items in bits. Take rice, for example. Why do you want the madam of the house to go stress herself, buy 1 mudu of rice, a bag of rice, and then lock up
if you can afford it?
If you can afford it. So for those kind of items, I remember growing up, my mother goes to the market to just buy things like meat, beans, because cook it, spice it with all the spices in the world. I will not. I will not. So, but you see rice, don't bring like a bag of rice and then dump it. For the next 6 months, we are enjoying it. But usually, it is expected that the woman should be able to understand budget. Your spouse should not give you a certain, be able to utilize available resources at her disposal to grant satisfaction to every member. 2,000 naira, you have a pot full of soup. That same 2,000 naira back in the day, you give it to another woman. She will give you a pot of soup with 2 meat. That is why you hear things happen. We watch these things unfold in some of our Nollywood movies, incidentally. And when you look at it, it is not just somebody's creation.
Yes, not make believe. These are
realities. These are things that happen. So that is the way I use resources. Approach your partner. It is only when your partner then takes it the other way, start throwing jabs at you, making you feel like you are
032229799. Who do you have on the line? Ola from Kubwa. Ola from Kubwa. How are you this afternoon, Ola? Okay, Ola, let's have your question.
Yeah. But now I think that you are now in modern day that even though you don't know how to do anything like you're supposed to let the male child know what he's doing. So that you guys, because maybe the man like for every parent to let their male child know how to do the house choice. So on the other second one that you guys are talking about, I don't
Thank you regards to people of Kubwa. Thank you. So Esther, Talking about...
I need to sorry before we go. I want to say something now. Okay. Now, your sister, she wants to talk to, she has a mother, she wants to 50 kids, and say, oh, it's going, and then she sees the trending.
Have you seen married?
They are actually.
They are married in name, not married in reality. Because one man believes his woman has the qualities to take care of him. His woman has the qualities to I take care of your hair, your nails, your clothes, and then I give you a certain amount and say, this is for the family upkeep. And rather than draw, my dear sister, going back to your father's house. But in the next couple of days, rather than compliment his effort,
you decide to buy. You want to feel among.
Hello.
So you are not being... Anyway, Esther, let me ask you this question. Now, we spoke about women, women being homemakers, but then there are lots of them. Their husbands cannot even bring home friends because they are not sure what they would meet on the carpet or on the floor or anywhere that you have. On the couch, you can't also, if you must bring someone home, you must have made like calls 4 or 5 times. I beg, don't come and disgrace me. You have to keep calling. Have you tidied up the place? Have you washed the restroom? Like, what do you say about such women? Because we have them.
Yeah, of course.
We have them. Some, once they get pregnant, they're not even pregnant, they're this dirty. Once they get pregnant, before you know, vomiting everywhere. You can't even... So the man is always in a hurry to leave the house. And he will come back from office around 5:36. But he will sit with the gatesman at the bench outside the house. You just, when it's time for prayers, you go and eat there and go home and sleep. Like women,
you have your own image that you can. Fortunate to get married to a dirty person, a dirty woman that doesn't know the dues of hers when it comes to making the house look neat, because you don't want to do with them, because he has already said you don't have to wait for a woman to do this. You should be able to do it. Now for work's sake, you have to go to work early and you come back and you made a dirty home. You have 2 things. And now I'm going to, he should be able to make decisions that will sit right with him.
Okay.
And we sit right with his family. As a person, I cannot say I married you. You're in my house. I don't have a house on menu. I married you. You're in my house, and then you're a dirty person. Early morning, at the end of the month, I'll sit down and be listening to that. Instead of come and take a cool bath and have a rest. This is my home. Mind you, I pay rent. No, the man has overthinking to do. Now to the woman. Now to the woman's angle. No, you just went to go and fight 15th World War. That's what we're not going to see, right? You are giving excuse for being unkept. I've seen some, not to shade, I've seen some heavily women, and then you see them, you have one this side, have this one that side, and say, it's because of my condition. I said, which one is your condition?
The pregnancy condition.
Which condition is that?
Anyway,
it's not sickness.
Okay, let's yes, engineer.
You see, like a lot of us, like you rightly said, pretend to be what we are not.
Yeah.
Okay, but I see that a lot of women are out there. They are interested in wanting to just carry the title Mrs. So the moment you heave a sigh of relief. So that kind of woman, okay, when you were dating her, she comes, she helps you tidy up, she washes your clothes, does your dishes, everything. And then suddenly you marry her, and then the same thing she was doing while you guys were in my house, bad food for 2 days. You see people, you go to certain houses, the order that comes out of that kitchen, you won't drink water.
Yeah.
You won't drink water. My host was aware that I needed to drink water.
Yes.
But I have been offered water, and right from the glass was oily. There were particles in the air. And who is going to understand? So I just collected it, said thank you, and dropped it on the table.
And that's
it. My discussion and
you left.
So, like with fortune, your family because
Esther, what's your final call to women? Women are known for.
I'm just going to say, be married because you want a companion, apart from that, you want these things, and I'll come back to you. So be a helpmate. That is the reason why you try to be that thing in the first place. Be a helpmate to that. Listen, I say, Minnie, my husband is doing this to me. Don't give people, because I know I give them excuse. Don't give them reasons to say, you gave me the reasons to go and do this. Because if you do some certain things right, you will be able to hold them best.
Thank you. Our engineer Oga Solomon, what is your call to men?
Just do your best, and always believe that there is going to be a brighter tomorrow.
Thank you very much. For me, I would really like to call a woman to be in. And as you're doing this, don't forget to involve your children, because if you're dirty, it means your children will be dirty. They're seeing, like, everything you're doing, they pick faster than what you say. The things they see you do, they pick it faster than what you say. So try to keep yourself clean. Try to keep your environment clean. Try to show your husband the kitchen. He should be able to know your kitchen. He should be, so that if he wants to help you out, even if you're not there, he should be able to. You shouldn't start keeping things where if he wants to help you, you find it difficult to look for those things, and at the end of the day, you'll be turned off and just leave. So days and Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Once again, thank you so much to our guest, Engineer Oga Solomon, all the way from Lagos.
Thank you.
I mean, he has a flight to catch, but we had to keep him here for this program. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Aisha.